Hey guys, I'm Merlin, and you're watching DKM TV. On today's episode, we're going to be covering Hailstorm BBs. Many of you might have already heard of Hailstorm BBs. They came out on the scene last year around January with a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of reviews, all very positive. So we decided to buy a couple bags for ourselves. We got a .20 and a .25, both biodegradable. Our field here in Flagler Beach is a biodegradable only field, and so that's what we look for when we test our BBs. So the .20 and the .25, handed it out to the team members of the Dropkick Mercenaries, and we had not so great reviews. We were having a lot of issues with sailing BBs, a lot of issues with jamming and misfiring. The BBs were getting caught up in the barrels, people were having to eject mags, clear BBs, and reload, and they were still having the same issues. Nothing seemed to work. So we went ahead and contacted Greg over at Hailstorm Airsoft and asked what was up. Greg was nice enough to give me a phone call back, actually, and we had a nice 20-minute conversation on the science of BBs. He, by trade, is an engineer and has spent a lot of time on basically the engineering of this BB. When they released the V1s back in whenever they released it, they came on the spot in January of last year, like I said, they were getting great reviews. Reason being is there was not a polish to deal with heat. And so as the summer wore on, players were leaving BBs in their cars, out in the sun and direct sunlight during long ops. Players were starting to notice that the performance of the BBs were dropping off, specifically misfeeding and misfirings and jamming. So Greg and the team went back. They didn't necessarily go back to the drawing board. However, they re-engineered a polish, they engineered a new polish to go on the outside of the BB to deal with the heat. They themselves took their BBs, microwaved them, and did some experimenting to figure out what's causing this. And they found out that being exposed to excessive 120 to 140 degree heat breaks down the outer shell of the BB. They've engineered, like I said, a new polish. And they've released what's called the V2s. We've got a couple bags of brand new version 2 BBs from HailstormAirsoft.com to test out for ourselves. A .20 and a .25. Again, both biodegradable. We're going to put them to the test. We spent a whole day shooting Hailstorm BBs at our field, and nothing but great reviews. The grouping is much, much better. The firing is much, much better. Not a single jam, not a single misfeed all day in 4 hours of airsoft. We'll go ahead and show you some of those video clips right now. So that was the field testing of the Hailstorm BBs, biodegradable .20s and .25s. We decided to do a little experiment of our own. We took 2 batches of BBs, both .25 grams biodegradable BBs, and decided we're going to place one in the oven at very low heat and place one in the microwave for a couple minutes. In this case, we're simulating the heat. You're not really supposed to leave your BBs in direct sunlight or in your car, but sometimes it happens. You come home Saturday night, you forget to take them out of your car, and they sit out there all day Sunday. Or you got a long op, it's an 8-hour op, and you don't want to leave your BBs out to be, sticky fingered. We're going to go ahead and see if this new polish that Greg and their team have put on the BBs really does work. This is what happens. Alright, so good results. On further discussion with Greg, Hailstorm was having some issues with the AMK Magpul Masada. Something about the barrel being just differently, or the internals just being differently, that the BBs were getting jammed in the barrel. Not a misfeeding problem, just a jamming issue. We've agreed to help Greg out, and we're going to go ahead and shoot an example of the V2s through a Magpul Masada. So there you go. It's the A&K Magpul Masada. It's not mine. I'm actually borrowing it, which is why I don't have the case over the batteries. Apparently I don't have the right batteries. But as you can see there, absolutely no fitting issues. I'm using a Magpul E-Mag. Shooting great, good grouping, and again, no misfitting. We want to thank you for watching today's episode of DKM TV and our review on Hailstorm BBs. For more information on this product, please check out hailstormairsoft.com. We also want to thank our supporters, Airsoft Squared, your social networking tool for airsoft, at airsoft-squared.com. Also, make sure to check out darkthreads.com, a very cool place to find your tactical gear supply. And if you like podcasts, make sure to check out Airsoft Airwaves on Facebook at facebook.com/AirsoftAirwaves.